What single experience as a kid forever changed how you saw the world? I was 9 when my mom took me to volunteer at the food bank on Christmas Eve. She said it would be good for me to help people less fortunate. I didn't want to go. My friends were having a sleepover and I was missing it. I spent the whole car ride pouting in the back seat. The food bank was in this old building that smelled like cardboard and cleaning supplies. My mom signed us in and they gave me a bright orange vest that was way too big. My job was simple. Stand at the end of the table and hand people a bag of groceries as they left. That's it. The first hour was boring. Families would walk through the line, volunteers would fill their bags, and I'd hand them over. Nobody really talked to me. I just wanted to go home. Then this kid walked up. He was probably my age, maybe a little younger, wearing a jacket that was too small and sneakers with holes in them. He was carrying this beat-up backpack covered in duct tape, the kind you'd see in the dumpster behind school. I handed him his family's bag of food. It was heavy, had canned goods and bread and a frozen turkey. He took it and said thank you. Then he just stood there looking at me. I didn't know what to say, so I asked him what was in his backpack. He got this excited look on his face and unzipped it. Inside were textbooks, like 6 of them, all different subjects. "I'm reading ahead," he said. "My teacher lets me borrow extra books because we don't have internet at home. I'm trying to skip 5th grade next year." I remember thinking that was weird. Who reads textbooks for fun during Christmas break? Then his mom called him over. She was standing by the door holding the bag I'd given them and 2 other small bags. She looked tired, really tired. Before he left, he turned back to me and said something I'll never forget. "Thanks for volunteering. People like you make it so we can eat this week. My mom works 2 jobs, but it's still not enough. This food means we don't have to choose between electricity and groceries." He said it so casually, like he was telling me about the weather. Then he just walked away. I stood there feeling sick to my stomach. This kid was wearing shoes with holes in them on Christmas Eve. He was reading textbooks during winter break because he didn't have internet. His family had to choose between keeping the lights on or eating, and he thanked me, like I was doing something special, like handing him a bag of donated food was some huge favor. I went home that night and looked around my room. I had 3 different gaming systems, a closet full of clothes I never wore, shoes I'd only put on once or twice because I didn't like the color anymore, books I'd never read just sitting on shelves collecting dust. My mom asked me if I had fun volunteering. I lied and said yes, but really I felt horrible. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that kid with the duct-taped backpack reading textbooks because he wanted to skip a grade. He was probably smarter than me, definitely worked harder than me, but he had nothing and I had everything. And the only difference was luck. I was born into my family and he was born into his. That's it. The next morning was Christmas. I opened presents like always. Got the new game I'd been begging for, some clothes, a skateboard, but I kept thinking about that kid, wondering what he got for Christmas, if he got anything at all. That week I went through my entire room, every toy I hadn't touched in months, every piece of clothing that didn't fit anymore, every book I'd never read. I filled 6 trash bags with stuff, good stuff, things that still worked and looked new. My mom drove me back to the donation center after New Year's. I hauled all 6 bags inside by myself. The lady at the front desk smiled and asked if I was doing spring cleaning early. I told her I just didn't need all that stuff anymore. That was 20 years ago. I still think about that kid sometimes, wonder if he skipped 5th grade like he wanted, if he made it to college, if he's doing okay now. I became a teacher because of him. Not a rich job, not impressive, but I work at a school in a low-income neighborhood. I keep extra supplies in my classroom, pencils, notebooks, snacks, for kids who show up without them. I let students borrow textbooks to take home, even during breaks, especially during breaks. And every Christmas Eve, I volunteer at that same food bank. Been doing it for 20 years straight, because some kid with duct tape on his backpack taught me that having more stuff doesn't make you better than anyone else. And sometimes the people who have the least give the most thanks. I never saw him again after that night, but he changed everything about how I see the world.